So I'm currently in Rochester, New York right now, which is 2,000 miles away from the city that I live in, which is Las Vegas. And the reason I'm able to do this is due to remote work. During my time here, out of my 6 or 7 days of travel, I was able to work 3 of the days because I'm able to work remotely from any city that I choose within the United States. In this video, I'm going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of working remotely as opposed to in person, whether it actually is better than in person for many people, and lastly, a couple of disadvantages that may be a deal breaker for many people to work remotely. So stick around to the end for that. Okay, so when it comes to working remotely as opposed to in person, you're likely going to enjoy it more than in-person work. Out of all the many people that I've spoken to, if they prefer remote work or in person, people typically do prefer remote work over that. And there are actually 4 reasons why for that, okay? The first reason why is what I mentioned in this video, which is obvious. When you're working from home and your employer allows it, you're typically able to work from anywhere in the United States and the country. So let's say you live in LA. If you wanted to fly to New York for a week and spend time for that weekend and work for that week in New York, most remote work companies are totally fine with that, right? And so this gives you this really insane level of flexibility to work anywhere. For example, there's many events that take place. There's a bee on my hand. For example, there's many events that take place out of town on, say, a Friday evening. I've had a couple of weddings that took place on Friday evening out of town. And so instead of having to take Friday off in order to make that, I'm able to still fly out of my hometown on Thursday night, get to that city where the wedding's taking place, and still work a full day on Friday to attend the event. There might be other events that you have to attend, such as bachelor parties or birthdays on a Friday, and it's difficult for you to make unless you take a day off. Well, you don't have to worry about that if you work remotely and you just fly in the Thursday night before and work Friday night. So that's definitely a big advantage. The second huge advantage of remote work, obviously, is you don't have to commute. And with not having to commute, this can save you about an hour and a half of your day on average, which could equate to about 7 to 8 hours saved per week. If you are someone who wants more free time to work on a side hustle, to work on a passion project or something, this is a really huge advantage, as you can tell. The third advantage that not many people think about is all the time saved from doing little tasks throughout the day at home. What I mean by this is there's always these little tasks that you have to take care of at home, right? These can be taking care of the laundry. If you have pets, taking care of the pets. I have cats, so I need to take care of the litter each day. It could be simple things like having a meal in your oven that you need to braise once in a while, right? Or pour the liquid on there or whatever. It's little things like that that you get to save time on because you're home, and then while you're home, you get to take care of it. And so that adds up to about 30 minutes per day, or an additional 2 to 3 hours a week saved from just doing that while you're at home. And the fourth advantage, which is huge also, is time flexibility. So when it comes to events that take place in the morning or afternoon, for me, it's sometimes fitness classes or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu classes that take place in the morning. Or sometimes there's masterminds that I like to join, but they usually take place only at 9 or 10 a.m. Or sometimes in the afternoon, like let's say 2 or 3 p.m., right? Before, if you're working in person, then it's kind of impossible to make those. But now that you're working remotely, then you have the freedom to chase those opportunities. You can show up to your morning gym classes, or you can show up to those masterminds, which help you a lot in getting better in your career or passion project that you are pursuing. So those are the multitude of advantages that people enjoy about remote work that have them preferring that over in-person work. And I would say there's an overwhelming majority of people who prefer remote work to in-person. It's hard for you to go wrong with remote work Like, I have a hard time imagining that if you're in person now and you go to remote work, you're gonna think, oh man, this sucks. But I do want to give you a couple disadvantages that might make you reconsider, okay? And here's the first one. The first one is you don't have coworkers around with you to talk to. And it sounds like you're not gonna miss them, but you probably will. I know that I miss that feeling of being able to go out and having lunch with my colleagues, of being able to talk to them when they're next to me in the office, and of building relationships with your supervisors or your bosses at a deeper level, because you get to have all these little side conversations about how your weekend went and what you did last night, and just, you know, building that relationship, which is still totally possible in a remote work setting, but it's just not quite the same. You're not really talking about your weekend or what you did last night as much when you're not in person, right? Because you're usually slacking your coworkers or your superiors or something. And when you do that, it's usually for work and not so much for other things. And now the second disadvantage that I want to talk about is the fear of foreign people taking over your work. Now, this might not be an actual disadvantage. Again, it's more of a fear, but it is there. And, you know, I don't believe in it, but it's something that many people think about. And to address that, I would say for that, it's all about realizing that as an American working for an American company, you are more likely to be put in a position where you're brought up because you're expected to face customers and take care of those things. Hey, so I'm back home now, and one thing I've got to leave out is that I'm actually a digital marketer. I work as an SEO specialist, and I really enjoy my job. And in this field, there is a lot of upward mobility and really good pay in it, if that answers another question. So yes, the pay is still there, but yeah, what do you think about foreigners possibly taking remote work? Do you think it's possible? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear. Are there any other advantages or disadvantages that you may think of or are curious about? Leave a comment as well, because I'd love to hear that. So yeah, those are the advantages and disadvantages of remote work. And if you want to learn more about this or a similar topic, you should check out this video. Take care.